Hi guys, Fire Players here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today, guys, we are going to be doing the Melbourne fixture reaction. Alright guys, so we are continuing the fixture reaction series. Today it's Melbourne's turn. And yeah, same as normal, predicting every game, rough amount of wins, rough ladder position, and easiest and hardest part of the fixture. Now, of course, last time we had Hawthorn. This time we have North Melbourne. Next time we have North Melbourne. We've already done Adelaide, Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, Fremantle, Geelong, Gold Coast, GWS, Hawthorn. And to go, we still have, including Melbourne, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Richmond, St Kilda, Sydney, West Coast, Western Bulldogs. So, yeah, the end of this series grows nearer and nearer and nearer. So, today we're going to be continuing on the series and doing Melbourne. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. Now, just so you know, if you're not a fan of hearing the word smash, the word smash will probably be in this video multiple times, as Melbourne are definitely a team that will probably end up smashing teams. Although they did play North Melbourne last year, only won by 30 points. So, it is interesting. But yeah, let's go over the fixture, predict every game, let's start. So they have their first game against the Western Bulldogs at the MCG. Now, on a Wednesday night as well, definitely not the first choice of a time or a game for football at 6:40. So it's probably, I don't know, most games are played at, you got 6:40, I think you got 7:20, I think you got 6:55 and 7:10 are your normal prime times. Then Sunday can be a little bit different. Now, of course, grand final rematch, probably no better way to start the year, because Richmond and Carlton can be a little bit boring sometimes. So, yeah, this one will be definitely a very good game. Melbourne are going to take it out by 10 points. Now, into the second game, this is where the word smash comes across this early round, number 2, up against Gold Coast up at Metricon Stadium. Now, I see Gold Coast being absolutely no chance in this game. Again, sorry to those Gold Coast fans, but I just don't see you being a chance. Now, yes, you might be able to hang around for a couple of quarters, but I just think Melbourne win by 60 points. It's just, yeah, Melbourne are very good. Now, here's an interesting game, and I'm just going to quickly talk about Essendon real quick. Now, I made a video about explaining about the teams contending for the top 8 in 2022, and Essendon were one of those teams. Now, if you're going to go and watch that video, feel free to go ahead and do that. Now, the thing for Essendon, though, is that they can't be losing these games. They can lose them. You've got to try and make sure that you've won the other games, though. And this early on in the year, it's important to try and get a decent foundation to build off of for the rest of your season. So for Essendon, they need to, now, not necessarily win it, because winning it might be a little bit too high of an expectation. But if you can try and maybe draw within that, maybe only let Melbourne win by 20 or 30 points, it's not like your percentage is going to drain massively. Because if you get yourself down into that 60-70% mark, you're a long way down. Even 80 won't cut it. And then if you only win the rest of your games by 10 points as a margin, an average losing margin being 10 as well, you still may not make enough percentage back in the rest of the season to make the 8. So you can't be losing this game by more than 40 points. I think Melbourne are going to take this one out by 35 points, just on the brim of the margin. And for Essendon, they're going to have to really bounce back after that one. Which, of course, fixture reactions playlist, you guys can go ahead and check them out. Put Adelaide, Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval. This is going to be a very interesting one. Now, again, could definitely go either way. Now, I'm going to say a little bit bolder tip. I'm going to say Port Adelaide to win by 15. Now, I know they don't play the best at Adelaide Oval for some reason against these better teams, Port Adelaide. It's just something about the better teams that make them more scary or something, perhaps. Just doesn't seem to work. They always go down by, well, sometimes it can be a hefty margin as well. Now, Melbourne GWS Victoria. Again, another massive game for the Giants, and next week a massive game for Richmond as well. Now, these games are so important for these teams. As I said with Essendon, you can't be dropping them by too much. Now, again, for the Giants, you'd probably, minimum you'd want to be losing by, maximum would be, again, 30, 40 points. And I think Melbourne are going to win this one by 20. I reckon GWS are going to put up a really good fight. I reckon it's going to be a really good game as well. I reckon GWS and Melbourne are going to have their full pack teams ready to go. It's going to be a good game. And then in round 6, now Richmond are going to be back to their best, I'm going to say, in 2022. Now it's a bit of a call, but I just do think Richmond are going to be back to their strongest. Dusty's all fully back, ready to go. Now, yes, you are missing Callum Coleman-Jones, but someone else can step into that role, really. You've got your good key forwards, Revolt, Lynch. You've got Robbie Tarrant, which that trade was a massive loss for Richmond. They were giving up an inexperienced young player for an experienced old player. It was probably not a good trade, but look, they've got Tarrant for a couple of years. I think Melbourne is still going to win this one by 25 points. Yeah. And for Melbourne, you don't have, they like to try and smash teams, but you don't have to smash them. You just got to win, take the 4 points out of the game, and then work on percentage next. Now, 4:05, round 7, they've got the Hawks. Now, this is a Melbourne win for sure by 50 points. And then they've got a Sunday game. Interesting. Melbourne take on St Kilda. MCG, I think Melbourne should be out. Now, again, for St Kilda, this is a massive game, crucial for them in their season. Of course, you think they'll, out of the 5 teams that could potentially be making the 8, you'd be thinking they'd finish last in that category around that 11th, 12th mark. So, again, you got to try and win these early games. I reckon Melbourne are going to get the job done by 40 points. It's going to be a bit of a blowout. For the Saints, they're gonna have to rebound strong after that. And then round 9, the final game that we know, dates, times, and all that, and possibly even venues. West Coast Melbourne, Optus Stadium. This is definitely going to be a Melbourne win by 45 points. Now, North Melbourne, Marvel Stadium. We know how damaging Melbourne can be at Marvel Stadium, especially when they smash the Suns by, I think it was 98 points. So, yeah, I'm just going to say we're going to go for another repeat of that. It's going to be 70 points, the win for Melbourne. Then, go back to the MCG, play Fremantle. This is a massive game. It's in the middle of this fixture for Fremantle. It is pretty much, for them, it's almost win one of these middle games. And I've made videos going over Fremantle as well, so if you want to go check them out, go ahead and do so. Now, it'll be, you just have to go through the channel, but I might leave links in the description, depends if I remember. Now, Melbourne Fremantle, this is crucial. This is a crucial game, though. Melbourne are going to take this one out by 30, 40, 30, 35 points. Now, Melbourne versus Sydney. We could be in for a good game here, actually. Now, Sydney don't play too bad at the MCG. Melbourne are going to win this one by 15 points, though. Collingwood, Melbourne, MCG. Well, we know who's going to win that one, even though miracles can happen, and I'm not taking anything away from Collingwood, not taking anything away from Collingwood at all. I'm just going to say, though, that I just think Melbourne are just a little bit better. Well, a bit better, and I think they should be able to win by a comfortable 40-point margin. Now, Melbourne versus Brisbane at the MCG. Melbourne should be able to win this one by 30 points. Now, you're probably like, why am I saying 30 points? It's up against Brisbane. Well, Brisbane are actually like a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit unsteady away from home, or at least that's what I see. Because they lost. I mean, they won by 18 points against Carlton at the Marvel Stadium, and then they had a close encounter with Collingwood at Marvel. So, yeah, it just seems to work like that. I just think they're just a little bit wobbly away from home. Not a lot, and I'm not taking anything away from Brisbane. I'm just trying to say that sometimes they can just be a little bit wobbly, and sometimes they can absolutely fire as well. It depends. Adelaide versus Melbourne. Adelaide Oval. Now, of course, I'm going to say Melbourne. Now, even though Adelaide did pull off a massive miracle last year, winning by 1 point, I just don't see that happening again this year, unfortunately enough. Because Adelaide are my team. I'm going to say Melbourne by 55 points. Now, they go down to GMHBA Stadium, take on Geelong. Now, this is actually going to be a really good game, I reckon. Now, of course, we had this game in round 23, 2021. Now, it came down to 4 points to Melbourne. I'm going to say Melbourne this time to take it out by a little bit more. Take it out by 20 points. Now, Melbourne put Adelaide, TIO Traeger Park, Northern Territory. Now, one thing that we do know is that we are seeing a few more AFL games in 2022 being played at a different place, at different places like Manuka Oval, ACT, TIO Traeger Park, TIO Stadium, which is really nice. Getting different places involved in football and taking it up to the Northern Territory is amazing. I think it's a really good opportunity, and it gives people the chance in the Northern Territory and Alice Springs to actually go and watch watch a game of footy when they don't get it a lot up there. So it's really nice to have these games up there. And I'm going to say Melbourne are going to win this one because Port Adelaide, I don't think they've ever been up there before. So I think Port Adelaide are going to play horribly. I think it's going to be Melbourne winning that one by 30 points. Western Bulldogs versus Melbourne Marvel Stadium. I'm going to say the Western Bulldogs take this one out. Going to go a little bit different. I'm going to say Western Bulldogs by 15 points. Fremantle Melbourne, again another massive game for Fremantle. I'm going to say Melbourne by 30 points. A few more games left to go. Melbourne Collingwood MCG, Melbourne by 40 points. Melbourne Carlton MCG, Melbourne by 40 points. Brisbane Melbourne Gabba. Wow, we're getting some good matchups this year. The footy people up there that made these fixtures are going, wow, we want to give footy fans as good matchups as we possibly can this year. This is one you actually can't miss. Like, this is one that you cannot miss. Round 23, there's going to be some absolute belters of a game in round 23. Rivalries. Adelaide Port go head-to-head. Brisbane Melbourne go head-to-head. This one has to be a Saturday nighter, surely, or Friday nighter. I'm gonna say Brisbane. I'm gonna go something different. Brisbane by 10. So now wins. This is going to be a high number as you'd expect from Melbourne. So we're going to go over their wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, 7, 8, 9. And then you've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 wins. That's ridiculous. So anywhere from 16 to 19 wins in 2022 for the Melbourne Footy Club. 17 to 20 in 2022. How amazing could that possibly be? Melbourne could have another really breakout year like last year. Or they could actually really fall. It is very interesting football about how it changed so quickly. But let's go back over that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They go on a big winning streak. 10. Then that one's 50-50. So I'm going to count 11, 12, 13. Again, 15, 50-50. 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, it depends on how these games against the top teams go. Some of them are 50-50. Like, we'll go over the 50-50 games that Melbourne have. There's a few. Not a lot, though, by any means. First game, 50-50 against the Dogs. Against Port Adelaide was 50-50. Against Sydney MCG could be 50-50. Against GMHBA, against Geelong GMHBA, 50-50. Against Dogs at Marvel, 50-50. And probably against the Lions at the Gabbers, 50-50. So there's some 50-50 games for the Melbourne Footy Club this year. Again, it's mainly against the top teams. But yeah, Melbourne. Where will that get you on the ladder? That's going to get you first. And if you do only get 16 wins, that'll probably get you second, third, or fourth. But look, I reckon it's going to be another first for Melbourne in 2022. It's going to be amazing. They're going to have another brilliant year. Now, of course, this is just a prediction, making sure they're not impacted by injury. Of course, I cannot see the future. So this is just guessing. Not guessing. It's an educated prediction, more like of where I think they're going to finish. I think they're going to finish first on the ladder. And if not first, definitely in the top 4. There's no way a team this good are missing out on the top 4 in 2022. Especially with their fixture. Now, easiest, hardest part. Easiest is probably from the Giants, which is a big down to Fremantle. So let's just go over this. How many games is this in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games in a row. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it gets a little bit harder. They've got a couple of games at the end of the year as well, which are a little bit easy. And then hardest part, again, it's just little bits here and there, which is probably a 1-2 game spurt, probably. A little bit of a 2-game thing. But I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye guys. Fire plays out.